Here all this zoonosis, and this is about 17 of the of the ecosystem challenge. We're backtracking a bit because I want to try and figure out when exactly the earliest possible point is when you can like do the thing. Also, the thing I'm gonna check here though. I actually want to check specifically. I want to check. Kyo here. Oh yeah, Kyo has a good catch. He has good catch values. But so technically I could use him over Keppa. But doesn't you get? Isn't Sue supposed to be a good? Isn't Sue supposed to be a good catcher? Or am I completely wrong with that? Okay. We will of course find out very quickly. I'm gonna go for all of the orders here, building up all of them. Probably should have been just like the last one there.
A lot of fiends here, y'all.
Don't talk like that.
I was actually you imitating. It was actually pretty funny. Yeah, there's so many hidden dialogues that you might never have heard before and stuff. That's right, because yeah, the weird thing though is that once you get to the end game, they basically make it so that the characters like stop talking and stuff like which is like really really weird, like you know where that is. Okay. But his physical attack shouldn't count as being fire elements. That seems like weird. Right. Is it open now? There's an NPC there now.
Be strong.
Yeah, we do have fire. We do have. Does count as fire element, right? It's fire element already. So. Very good. We walk up on the cannon and we head south. Which put us right here. There's a chest. But I'm soft. There is no just there. me water. I don't think there was anything else here. We need to deal with the big guy first, though. Curious how much health do they have though. Wonder if one blister is enough. Okay, good. If one wasn't gonna be enough, it might have been worth using the old gun otherwise. Yeah. Red bracer.
Training, huh?
Item which here's highest agility, she has second highest. Better than I want. I want walking. Because basically, here's the thing, right? If you leave in characters with lower agility, I believe that actually increases your chance to be ambushed. Let's stop that here. I forgot, is there anything here actually? So Yuna has, she has white magic, she doesn't have black magic. I want to see her dance.
So you need someone with magic skills.
Alright, then we don't have a piercing weapon for him. Nope.
Let's see. Farewell. That's how it's done.
Okay, and this platform goes up. Right. Alright, this is actually where the mayhem thing is. Yeah, that will react to the... Or is it the Celestial Mirror, right? Because I think that's the location of Massamune, if I'm not mistaken. Right, then you need to get the broken blade in the place later on.
Think of it as training.
Not again, because it's the exact same fight as previous time. I don't know. Well, ambush is bad though. Yeah, that would have stone for there or something. Yuna's health pool is still not super big though. Is this bed open? That's interesting, of course. Yeah, you know, the Game Awards was pretty cool, you know, I'm not gonna lie, you know. Some pretty cool things, but I'm a bit worried about certain games and all stuff like that. And that is just because, you know, there are people that are just willingly, they're like, even if a game is just a little bit walk right, just like that, there are people that are still willing to put up with certain games. And I feel like the worst thing is if they only like, basically, if there's only a little bit walking, then a lot of people buy it, you know, and stuff like that, you know, then, you know. Right. Chokeable. Do. Of course, if I remember correctly, the Albed members don't become recruitable until the airship, if I remember correctly. Unless they're in Luca still. The ferry's back in service. Because if that works, that means that we can already get we should already be able to get then the... Who got enough wins with the team yet though? Yeah, you need the Celestial Mirror first, because you can already get the thing already. Yeah, you can already get the world champion. He was the best player, right? Yeah. In all, let's go. Does it say here? On this sitting scab here. I thought you could read this somehow. Yeah, because there is no You didn't make it into an actual thing. The thing, of course, all the Albed primers, when you have them all, you get like the dog secret, I believe it is, once you reach a certain point. And I believe since the thing is active, the shop should have updated. No. Like how much is the second TKO? The regular TKO is that much. Right over at the bottom. And that one has more open slots to it. So we keep the one that is more expensive and we sell the one at the regular TKO. Because the other one is just better. Right, then you are needers, right? Yeah. He's not also one of the slowest, but I believe he becomes the fastest character in the game, or he becomes the strongest because he has the biggest stat growth, or whatever. But it's hard, like he's hard to like level up and stuff like that. So, yeah. Okay. Right, is this where you can guess the thing? Because there's a very expensive item you can get here that you can technically sell, or you can just have to keep it. Is this where the thing is? Yeah. So one. One, 2, 3, 4, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. 11. Ace Wizard, hell yeah. Ace Wizard is absolutely insane, by the way. So Ace Wizard. Magic plus 20, Magic plus 10, Magic plus 5, and Magic plus 3. Which is it's insane because that's just, you know. Yeah, but it doesn't show up here what they say, what the stat that you get from it and so that, because yeah. Like it's of course based on Amaranth, but right, I should get. Right, and he's monk, of course, obviously. And stuff that's here. So I do grab some white magic spells. Stuff that I will also grab like a gravity because he does get gravity stuff. Right, and you're still part of Kilika Beast, okay? You're still Kilika Beast, right? Yes. I think it's this guy specifically that you want to get, actually. Vroya that actually becomes pretty good later on. Tats is also pretty good if I remember correctly. But yeah, but once you reach a certain level with your team, certain things happen. So this is Sanson, HP plus 5 though. Right, I can still see what the cost is even with stuff that I have equipped. Yeah, almost 20,000 for that. So, yeah, which is pretty huge at this point in the game and stuff that, you know. Not gonna lie. Right, and she is still part of Kilika Beasts. Because it's often pretty hard to recruit certain characters. Like normally, right? Like sometimes they are very like certain teams very often refuse like recruiting new players, new like things. But sometimes it has to do with that they have like a priority system. If I remember correctly, but you cannot. This not. He's on the 8th game, so yeah, he's not gonna. What did defeat Lord also, right? Yeah, we did it. Yeah, I also kind of wish that you could have some sort of protection if you want to protect a certain save, so you like couldn't save over it. Victorious. So like the good thing with about Dora going back now. Of course, the things we want on Luna is actually not Haddock, funnily enough. We actually want melee attack, so you actually want to get strength on her. So why customers is going to be important.
My turn!
Water? I'm thirsty. And there's a good player you can actually recruit in the temple if I remember correctly here. There's also a good character on Besaid that you can actually recruit as well. Yeah. The fact that you can go back here now means that there are some like really good stuff you can get. Which is why it's important to read earlier, because otherwise, of course, there's nothing that guards this. There's no Dark Aeon that guards this temple specifically, but yeah. I forgot, was it in the side passages here? It's you that you can require, you can recruit him. Because I believe, yes, do they talk about it here? Yeah, captain or the Kilika beast. So that's why he's good. He's a good player and stuff like that. Like sometimes there are clues to what players are good from like dialogue with certain things, but yeah. And I'm pretty certain that a lot of people miss out on this and stuff. That the fact that you can, so it's basically after the Temple of Diose, that's when you quote unquote can go back already. Because now we just need to clear it, we don't even need to go for the destruction spear or anything. Can we do it already? Right, or is it sacrilege to do it? So it might not be that we can even enter. So this might have been a waste of time to do. I mean, it hasn't really been a waste of time because we did get Ace Wizard. I think it's just skill spear that you do right. Oh. It's just a fire that you put here. Well, it was a long time I suppose since I did this. Yeah, this is just gonna be this. That gets you the mark. I think we've already gotten these just before here. Because of that, you know. Let's see, can we actually enter? No. We're not allowed to, damn it. Damn it. Oh man, it would have been so good. But it's because, you know, like it's sacrilege to do, so you wouldn't do it and stuff, that's right, but you know. I mean, this lets you recruit more blitzball players, you know, is the important part. And stuff that's, yeah. So going back to Besaid might not... Oh, right, there's two more Kilika beast players here. Dame and Ifrit. Because basically eventually once you play enough blitzball, for example, you will eventually have certain characters leave certain teams. So that, but I feel like that there are certain characters that they quote-unquote try and prioritize recruiting if you don't recruit them. Which is why it's sometimes very good to stay on the Besaid Orcs players. and stuff that there are also certain characters, quote unquote, that they can never recruit. So that obviously, like you cannot, like Titus, his contract never expires. It would have been cool actually if people could have hired like Titus on their team or something, you know, because yeah. Something I really dislike, by the way, is in Final Fantasy X-2. First off, the fact that Final Fantasy X-2 at first was actually meant to be like the whole prequel. It was meant to be the story of Braska and stuff like that. But then, for some reason during development, right, and I'm gonna say that this is when Woke first caught, or one of the earlier appearances of Woke, is that maybe they were like political activists, because you know that there are political activists everywhere that are trying to make things, you know, like communists and stuff that, right, you know, and ruin things, you know. So that because we know that there have been Japanese games that have been like Woke, like, oh, let's censor Tifa, like anyone that the remake Tifa is so hot. Oh, it's not Woke because, oh, look at his bikini dress in part 2 and stuff that, and then it's just like, because I do remember one from the team saying that, oh, claw dancing for this guy makes no sense because he wouldn't do it and stuff that, you know, and stuff that, and then they said that, oh, like there was someone on the team that was actually going against the rest of the team or whatever, right, you know. Stuff that, but yeah, you know. So anyway, in Final Fantasy X-2, for example, it was meant to at first be the story of, and I don't remember if it still was going to be called X-2 or if it was going to be like 10-0 or something like that, you know, something else, you know. None of these things were placed. Yeah, these two never are recruitable though and stuff like that, you know. I forgot if answering the correct thing there gives you anything or whatever. I think you never get to count like the birds here, I don't think. And we're back at Besaid. But then there are no new treasure chests here now, I don't think. Imagine though if they could have done something so that certain treasure chest, if you would go back later, it would be something else, you know. Yeah, I need to actually talk about Isaru, the fact that Isaru went here and stuff that, you know. Yeah, it's crazy that everyone needs to go to Besaid first and stuff that in order to actually get Valefor and stuff that, you know. Right, this is actually where you dive off, yeah. You can never go this path again. This is a bit weird in my opinion, you know. It would have been cool if they would have done something with it, you know, later on and stuff that, you know. Besaid was such a good opening, right, and stuff that. But the thing is, of course, it took a while to get to Besaid and stuff that, you know, like you know. Say goodnight. Yeah, that's also where there's a treasure chest there and the thing. Although there is a way to get it earlier.
I should have slept in this morning.
But I think getting it early is only possible.
I'll handle it.
Do I have Blitz Ace already? I don't remember if I did or not. Slayer is actually really good if you want. If you're caught one-shotting things, then Slayer is really good. Yeah, we do have energy rain news. We don't have Blitz Ace yet. Let's just go to Slayer then. Because yeah, there are certain treasure chests you can, like, there's a way to, basically the way the layers work in the game is very, very odd. I don't remember if you could do it in the remaster or not. Because there are certain things that when you touch certain save points or whatever, right, there are certain, the save points basically, like the save point that is up here, you can touch it from down here, for example. So I believe you can actually get the Remaster. I think it is the Mimosa right up there, right? It's there, like the 1 MP cost weapon up there, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah. And of course, this village get guarded by like Dark Valefor and stuff there. But here's the thing, right? Even if you do Dark Valefor at the earliest possible point, you can actually easily solo him the first time you get to him.
What?
I want to show you something down by the river. Take that.
And it's this character, right, that you can... No, it's another building. But yeah, so you have some... I think it might be this building, if I'm not mistaken. And this calls Walker's house technically. Yeah, that'll be the day Mark's with. But yeah, believe so you can recruit here. It's weird because he said he was gonna like head home and stuff that, and he didn't, you know, and stuff that. So, you know. Sleepy. Right, so I think that's gonna do it for this time and stuff that, you know. So yeah, so basically after Temple of AO, so you can go back here, all the way back and stuff that, but yeah, the only reason really to do it though is to recruit some Blitzball members. I might actually try and maybe grant some Blitzball in the next couple of episodes, so we can get the team level up to a certain amount, because if you get the team level up to a certain amount, you start seeing their stats and stuff that, like the stats is what you learn first, I think it is. The first thing, there's base of stats, then you can have their key abilities, be what like their techniques, be displayed like what techniques they come with, whatever, right? They have more and more basically once your team levels reach a certain points. And so that, but yeah. So keep in mind the next day, and of course, is going to be Shiva, right? Yeah. There's quite a long time until the next day on, which is absolutely crazy, really, when you think about it, the distance, right? Because we have to get to the Moonflow, then you cross the Moonflow, then into Guarda Salam, and then off the Guarda Salam, we go to Thunder Plains, and Thunder Plains is long, and then the Makalania, the forest, and then from the forest you finally get to Makalania Temple. In Makalana Temple event, you finally get Shiva, you know, and stuff that. But then of course, you get Shiva, but you have to fight Seymour and stuff that, right? And then after that, it takes a long time until you get to Bahamut and stuff that, right? So, you know, because if you think about it, that you can almost say that Valefor and Ifrit is kind of back to back, like they are very, very quick between each other, and then there's a big jump until you get Ixion and stuff that, so yeah, you know. Right. And of course, you know, I've heard that there were like rumors, or I don't know if any of those rumors are true, that there were going to be other agents that came at first. And stuff like that, Magus Sisters, for example, where I had like very, very late, that was not something they planned to have initially, right? Because I do think that there's a bunch of, sure the Magus Sisters are cool, but I would have rather removed both Magus Sisters and Jimbo. Jimbo is cool, of course, because yes, you can send them out, which is really important if you're speed running and stuff that, right? That you can just kill everything, you know, okay, you can even kill pennies and stuff that. You just need to have enough money and stuff that. And grinding money is easier, of course, than grinding other things if you know what you're doing and stuff like that, yeah, you know. But yeah, so, right. So, I'm pretty certain we made Kimori, our Red Mage, and stuff like that, yeah. Then of course Oran is soldier, first class, so Oran is gonna get, Oran is obviously going to get, but we're going to get White Magic on Oran, was gonna get Black Magic, and stuff like that, right, because you know, because he's gonna be based on separate, so it's gonna be basically that, yeah, he can get like all the water, fire and stuff that, like all the things that Separate had equipped and stuff that, so yeah, you know. And since he has restore material, you would have like Cure, Curaga and stuff that, but he wouldn't get like stuff like Ultimate Flare and stuff that, you know, but still, you know. So yeah. What else? So yeah. There's a game that I'm planning on maybe, or rather, so the game of the year show I want to talk about a bit, because you know, the game of the year show, normally I would do it today on the 12th and stuff that, but I'm not doing it today and stuff that, so you know, I'm gonna actually try and do it on the actual 31st. And stuff that, if possible, stuff that otherwise I will use do it slightly before Christmas or slightly after Christmas, depending on how much real life stuff going on, you know, and stuff that. Because yeah, because remember there was that year when because I think there is that always when like family and other stuff come over, like more like family members and stuff that, like, you know, I mean, I do have 2 family members in the house and stuff that, but yeah, you know, not all the family members are here, you know, and stuff, but yeah. And it's just, you know, like during Christmas, it's very, very easy to like get sick and stuff that, like if you don't get sick from like the people that come over, then you often get like stomach sick from the food sometimes, you know, and stuff that, you know, and that's a bit of a thing, you know, and stuff that, you know, so, you know, sometimes, you know, it's like, oh man, what if I miss, like, because there was a year when I did the game of the year in January and stuff that, which always felt weird because then you're not going to get as much views and stuff that, you know, so yeah. But there are certain games that I won't have enough time with in order to make the game of the year list and stuff that, you know. And there's currently 33 candidates, but it's probably going to be 34 candidates unless there is a even bigger sale that will happen and stuff that, but yeah. So yeah. And am I gonna get Resident Evil 9 Requiem for my birthday? I don't know, because it comes out later than my birthday, you know. I was kind of actually looking forward to the Deus Ex game, but since people complain, they've actually removed Deus Ex and stuff that, so you cannot even pre-order it anymore and stuff that, which is just so weird. Stuff that, and I know that there were people that complained that Deus Ex doesn't need a remaster. People complained how things looked, and it's just so stupid. Like, because it's a remaster, right? It's like, why complain about it? You can still play the original. Like, that's the whole point, you know, and stuff that, like, you know. And I know that there are people out there that the Resident Evil remake should just replace the original. There's no reason to play the original, right, and stuff that, like. And the reason for that is, of course, the whole communist like behavior of oh, we need to tear everything down and rebuild with everything, which is why they hate like old version of certain games, you know, stuff like that. And they don't say it outright, right? But remember how Resident Evil 3 Remake got ruined? Because 3 Remake could have been good, but then it was because of activists on certain forums. And you remember how certain YouTubers, when they first showed the Resident Evil 3 Remake, like the first trailers, and people saw Carlos, there was a lot of people, they were like, oh, we want to have more Carlos. And then basically they were like, probably, you know, because we know that the far left, the communist bastards, do like certain tactics. They say often that, oh, we're getting death threats and blah, blah, blah. But it's often the left death threatening themselves, you know, and stuff like that, because they have like troll farms that do it. And stuff like that, like, oh, how, you know, you had Anita Sarkeesian being like, oh, yeah, I have had death threats. And then, you know, the death threats came from her own IP address and stuff like that. And that's just something common that they do as a strategy and stuff like that, you know. And stuff like that, right? And I'm pretty certain that there were people that like complained against Capcom or even the threats and stuff that if they weren't gonna do more Carlos, right? Because supposedly Jill was supposed to have a police station sequence and stuff that, and so certain other sequences. But then of course when people were complaining and doing threats and stuff that oh, we need more Carlos and stuff that, and then they changed it to instead have the police station be with Carlos instead and stuff that, because they had to basically like used to move the parts that Jill were gonna be in. And that's actually the main reason why they're not going to want to go back or add anything to the game, and they call it future re-reads and stuff that, because if they were going in the game, for example, and used to remove the whole Carlos scenario in the police station, for example, if they would just remove that and they would replace it with Yield, then the wokies would get pissed off, you know, and send more threats and stuff that, you know, because that's how they work, you know. So that the same thing with the whole Final Fantasy VII remake and stuff that oh, Tifa looks woke in that and stuff that, because yes, they're calling up the legs, and you might say, oh, but that has nothing to do with walking, it's Goon debate and stuff that, you know. And then it has nothing to do with Goon, and they also use the whole excuse of, oh, it looks more realistic. Yeah, it's a fantasy game, it's called Final Fantasy, you know, and stuff that, and they're using the whole realism is always the excuse. They use that, oh, this looks so much better because it looks more realistic, and that's always the excuse that they use. And stuff that, you know, because yeah. Because the funny thing is supposed fans of Final Fantasy VII did not even play, or like, even if they were a fair fighting game player, for example, and they played, say they played the City Ante and stuff that, and sure, maybe they played online and stuff that, and they didn't play much offline. But then, of course, when Tifa came out, they did like a reaction to certain other characters coming out, and then they played them. But then when Tifa came out, nope, not playing Tifa, you know, and stuff that, not playing Tifa Lockout, not even doing videos on it. And then when you saw how Tifa looked in the CDNT, yes, she was revealing her legs and she had big ass, she had big boobs and stuff like that, and it was basically like a more high-res version of like her default outfit and stuff like that, like, and not like the remake bullshit and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, which kind of explains why they didn't want to cover NT, because if they would have covered the Tifa in Final Fantasy NT, the CDNT, then basically that would have caused so that fans would have been like, oh hey, this Tifa looks really, really good. And then like a lot of people would have realized, hey, why are they making remake Tifa look like this? Like, why is she covering up her legs, you know, and stuff that, you know, and everything like that, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed these 2 parts. I won't be uploading them today, probably because it's pretty late. But we'll see. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you all next time.